What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be covering my first impressions and overall thoughts on my experience so far with Battlefield Portal. I was lucky enough to once again be invited along to the early preview event for Battlefield Portal thanks to EA. We were given nearly 5 hours of playtime in the mode, trying out a bunch of different modes that they'd sort of pre-made for us, as well as just getting to see them actually create the modes that we were playing too. Now, even though 5 hours of playtime is quite a bit all at once, it's obviously just scraping the surface at the end of the day, so I'm going to keep this one rather short simply because I'm only really going to talk about my experience in the actual play session rather than my thoughts overall on Portal. It's going to take months if not years to fully experience what Portal has to offer, so yeah, this video is mostly just going to be my initial thoughts. Before we get into it though, if you guys are new to the channel and you end up enjoying the video, then do consider subscribing and turning on those notifications so that you don't miss out on any upcoming 2042 content. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. So like I said, we were given a 4 or 5 hour play session with Portal, playing a total of 4 different modes, some of which actually had different modes in them, but there were 4 different experiences, I guess you would say. Firstly, we played the VIP Fiesta mode that Courage JD created, where there are 2 teams of 12 with 1 VIP on each team that you have to kill while protecting your own VIP, and the first team to get 15 kills on the enemy VIP would win the game. It was 1942 soldiers versus Bad Company 2 soldiers, and each time you die you're given a new random loadout as well, so it was very chaotic to say the least. And while this mode was a lot of fun, the balancing was absolutely terrible because, weirdly enough, modern weapons actually seem to be a little bit better than World War II weapons. We then went on and played a free-for-all mode with 24 players per lobby using the Bad Company 2 weapons and classes, and it was meant to be like super fast paced, so there was fast movement speed, hardcore elements to make you die super fast, and once again that was a good bit of fun, definitely not my type of mode, so it was a little bit boring after a couple of games, but the point of this session was mostly just to show off what Portal can actually do, rather than to make the best modes possible, so at the end of the day the modes didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. After that, they then slightly tweaked that mode to have another free-for-all mode, this time with everyone having a rocket launcher with only 1 rocket, and to get another rocket after you shot your first one you actually had to jump 5 times to reload it. Again, not really the funnest mode that I've ever played, but it was pretty awesome to see just how much control you actually have over the game. The fact that you have that level of control to make people jump 5 times in order to get more ammo, that goes to show the level of detail and depth that we have in Portal, despite this example again not really being the most enjoyable mode itself. Now, once those modes were all wrapped up, we then got a 2-hour session of classic Battlefield experiences. We played Conquest on the 1942 maps, Rush on the Bad Company 2 maps, and then Conquest again on the Battlefield 3 maps, and despite a few issues, this was easily the best part of the session overall, and this was definitely the type of stuff that I was excited to see heading into this session. Now, in regards to the issues that I mentioned, there did seem to be some sort of hit registration issues in the Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 servers, even though the same issues actually weren't there at all in the 1942 servers, and it wasn't just me that was experiencing these issues. We had a Discord with all the players in it, and pretty much everyone was just complaining that they were emptying entire magazines into people and just wouldn't even get a hit marker, so I'm not too sure what was actually going wrong there, but it was definitely a bit of a struggle at times. That said, it also seemed pretty much fine towards the end, so whether they were experiencing maybe some server issues because they were doing the same thing in multiple locations, as well as actually lots of the developers were being in the servers too, meaning there were people from all around the world. I'm really not too sure what brought it on, to be honest, but it did definitely make those last sort of 3 or 4 rounds a bit of a struggle, and I reckon I literally got like 15 kills in 3 games because I just could not shoot anyone at all. If this is some sort of bug or something wrong with the game rather than just sort of an unlucky time with the servers, then I do hope they address it as fast as possible and make sure that the game plays nice and smoothly. Like I said, it wasn't just a thing for all of Portal because the 1942 stuff ran so well. The sniping and overall gunplay in the 1942 section was probably my favourite part of the whole play session, and I had no issues at all there. So yeah, it was just a weird little issue, and hopefully we don't need to worry too much about that once the game is fully launched and there are millions of players on board. Now, one other issue, or I guess not really an issue, but something that I didn't enjoy, and I thought I'd mention it just so that you guys are aware, but like I said, we did play the classic Battlefield experiences, and in Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 that involved the same gunplay and movement, which after playing so many hours on the 2042 movement and gunplay felt absolutely terrible. Now, that is to be expected. The games are over 10 years old now, and obviously the mechanics of Battlefield and just gaming in general have improved drastically over that time. So like I said, it's not so much an issue, rather it was just something I didn't enjoy as much as I thought I would. The bullet spread and the lack of prone in Bad Company 2, the lack of a slide, and just all of those small elements did just make it feel super clunky. And I know all the boomers are going to comment, oh well, obviously you didn't play back in the day, but the reality is, yes, I actually did play thousands of hours of Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, but I do just enjoy the improvements to the mechanics over the years, and so just because they were good back then, that doesn't mean they're good now, unfortunately. unfortunately. Luckily though, this is just a very small issue, as that was just how the server was set up for this session. You are in fact able to just play the old content but on the new movement and gunplay system, and so it is a very easy fix, and it is something that I have no worries about simply because it's easily avoidable. But yeah, I just thought that was worth mentioning anyway. I think a lot of people are going to want the nostalgia of the old games, but after playing them, at least for me anyway, I think I'm keen on the maps and the weapons without wanting the movement and gunplay from those old games. To finish up though, overall I think Portal is going to be absolutely amazing, and despite some of the modes that we played being a little bit boring and the issues with the hit registration making the entire second half of the session really frustrating, my thoughts on Portal haven't dropped at all, simply because what they showed us gives a great example of the raw power that Portal possesses. I'm very interested to see how the community reacts to Portal in terms of whether it becomes the main game mode that people play, whether it stays as more of a sort of community night type mode where people are just going to mess around with some silly modes, or whether it is just a matter of both. I think it's easily the most intriguing part of the game for me, and I cannot wait to see how it evolves over time. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. If you guys want to support the content that I make here on YouTube, then consider becoming a channel member. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.